Chair Shot Reality coming to you from Point Park University Studios in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm Justin LeVar. She is the queen of the silver screen, Katie Arquette. He is Juice Springsteen. Juice, welcome back after your week recovery from New Orleans.
Long week.
Long week. How's Joey Janela?
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we had the WWE Superstar Shakeup this past week. A very exciting time that WWE is doing now once we're back to two brands competing each other, getting ready to go back into...
it's almost like a reset button.
Almost like a reset button. It really is. Raw and SmackDown resetting, moving the rosters around. We start with who benefited most from their move.
I would say Big Cass. I like that he's on SmackDown. I don't know if they're going to be a tag team with him and Nakamura, but I like that he's being positioned as a top heel in this role because we've never really seen him as a heel, have we? Up to this point,
very briefly, right when he and Enzo split. Before
it was kind of forgotten. It was like a new, rejuvenated thing because everybody was excited to see him.
It was so quick.
Back.
It was like
I'm really excited to see him work with a guy like AJ Styles and him make Big Cass look like Brock Lesnar out there.
Well, I think Big Cass. I mean, I think it's a huge move for him. He's the big return that happens. I think him being on SmackDown is huge because he targets Daniel Bryan. So certainly you could get some mileage. You talk about him and you talk about Cass and Nakamura. I could see Cass with the guy who I think probably benefited the most in Miz. Imagine a Diesel Shawn Michaels relationship there of Miz using Big Cass to deflect and get away from Bryan to draw this thing out. But I think as much as I love Big Cass and the role that he's going to be in, he looks good, he looks healthy. The Miz, certainly the workhorse of Monday Night Raw, he was. Ran his course on Monday Night Raw, ran his course on the mid-card. Him moving over to SmackDown not only is going to make him, again, one of the top heels because he's the top heel wherever he goes, but it's going to put him as the first big, true payoff storyline in this Daniel Bryan return.
And I see that he's probably going to go for the WWE title by the end of the year.
I can agree with that.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Katie, benefit?
I think, well, along with Big Cass, I completely agree with that. In The Miz, like that storyline, it could definitely work both ways. I think Asuka moving to SmackDown is pretty great.
The women definitely needed I think the women, unfortunately, they need freshened up more often than men simply because there's less female programs that go on simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, so especially with the WrestleMania match between Charlotte and Asuka, like moving Asuka to SmackDown with Charlotte, it makes it a bigger deal.
And now I'm interested to see how Raw favors with the women's division now that they lost, one of the top ones, and now SmackDown's going to be SmackDown's whole roster. I think is a lot better off now than it was pre-Shakeup. And I'm interested to see where it goes.
Raw's always been number one. SmackDown's like, second, and they did live. So I think having more on SmackDown will benefit.
Well, and because Raw is number one, it also, there's certain guys that Raw's just not going to give up. They're not going to give up Brock Lesnar when he appears. They're not going to give up Roman Reigns. They're not going to give up Braun Strowman. It's almost like there's just less ability to move people.
Or Seth Rollins.
Right. Seth Rollins.
You're not going to move Monday Night Rollins merch if he's over on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, I think SmackDown certainly was the winner in this, which in some ways could be surprising because Raw has more hours to fill, more time to fill, but SmackDown certainly, if you look at it on paper. Now, I will say, when they did the draft, when they first went back to the split and SmackDown was live, I think after the draft, a lot of people, John Cena was SmackDown draft. I think after the draft, a lot of people thought, SmackDown looks stronger. But then somewhere along the ways, whether it's guys like John Cena not being around every week or whether it's injuries or suspensions, whatever, somehow SmackDown always ends up seeming to get thinner quicker.
Well, it seems like they've built a bigger roster now. Who do you think didn't get a move and needed one?
I think Finn. I think Finn Balor, still on Monday Night Raw. Again, Finn is not going to, with the returns of Bobby Lashley, with Braun Strowman constantly being a focus, with Roman Reigns, with Brock Lesnar. Finn is just, I think he's kind of trapped right now in a little bit of booking purgatory. And I think had he moved to SmackDown, they moved Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown as well, as we saw. Not that they've been a huge trio of force since being in WWE, but certainly the potential's there, and certainly the fans seem to want it. I think Finn being missed out and moved, I think he's kind of just being glossed over right now.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was interesting that they did move Gallows and Anderson and didn't take Finn with them. And I also thought it was weird that they just announced Sanity and didn't have them come out and do anything.
Well, I think it's just a matter of too many moves, not enough time to showcase.
Unless they really want to split the Gallows and Finn, because they were like this big thing before.
Seems like they are, yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, it seems like Finn's starting to gloss over and not be. He's starting to just not mix. He wasn't as big as he was.
He's breaking away from those guys.
Yeah.
So I think he's his WrestleMania performance I thought was really good, and I don't think he needs those.
No, it was a great performance, and he that was the unveiling of this kind of new the T-shirt of the For Everyone, which is fine. But I don't know. I feel like WWE is losing sight a little bit of him. I think it's like he came in NXT, killed it in NXT, came to the main roster, a lot of fanfare, gets injured, comes back. demon here, demon there. Now it's, I don't know. I'm not sure.
They need to bring the demon back.
Well, that's
because if they are going to split Gallows and them, they need to bring the demon back. I was expecting the demon at WrestleMania, and I was honestly upset. I was disappointed because Finn, like, yeah, that's a big character.
It is, and if they focus on Finn as a singles guy going forward, which I think they're clearly doing now without Gallows and Anderson, even on the same brand, even when they were on the same brand, it doesn't seem like he's really a singles guy because he's always got they always have his back. So now that they're on separate brands, they can focus on getting that character elevated more, and we'll see maybe more of the demon going forward.
Well, and back to Mania, how illogical is it actually? I mean, he uses the demon for every other major pay-per-view, and that was his first WrestleMania ever because of how the injuries and everything have shaped out. It's really baffling to think that they did not unveil the demon.
Maybe they're saving it. Maybe they wanted to have this just to get his first entrance going and have this new thing going forward with how his character is, and then maybe.
First impressions, though. First impressions. I mean, granted, he's been around.
I didn't think that entrance was bad, though.
No.
I think it was.
And they still have that in the chamber now. That next year at Mania could be okay. This is going to be the first time the demons.
And I think they'll miss it. They won't just.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
They have until now.
Missed opportunity if they don't get to it eventually. All right, Josh Eisenberg down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Josh, give us your thoughts here on the WWE Superstar Shakeup overall. What did you like? What did you not like?
At Josh Eisenberg 4 on Twitter. I am very excited about the Superstar Shakeup because a lot of big pieces moved and a lot of big names from NXT have moved up. Now, I agree with a lot of your points, guys. I want to talk just about my personal preferences. I think SmackDown Live needed to do a few small things to make the show even better. I understand getting Big Cass in the main event and interrupting Daniel Bryan. The easiest way to get the biggest heel heat for a guy returning is to attack Daniel Bryan, so I understand that. But I wanted to see more from the tag team division in general. I know you still want the Bludgeon Brothers to be the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and the focal point, as we saw with an attack on the Uso and Naomi coming for the rescue. But then you had the Club, Sheamus and Cesaro, and Sanity only be talked about on video packages or a graphic on the screen. This would be a perfect opportunity for the Sanity or even the Bar to come out. I think the Club is a couple of weeks away from getting refreshed, reinvigorized, and being a part of what AJ Styles could potentially be in 2018. I just don't understand why SmackDown wouldn't put some of those guys that we've known and that we've seen on SmackDown Live and attack somebody. So I wanted to make that slight little change. I also think Andrade Cien Almas' promo was great with Zelina Vega. You have him saying, "Oh, I'm leaving the Performance Center now. I'm coming to SmackDown Live and taking over." I thought that was perfect for him and perfect for his character. WWE Raw gained some people. SmackDown Live gained some people. The biggest outcome to me showed this. SmackDown is about giving opportunities to guys who may not be World Championship material on the Raw roster, even though they should. Guys like Samoa Joe, guys like The Miz, guys like Jeff Hardy. These guys put depth on SmackDown Live where depth wasn't even seen a year ago. You had guys, unfortunately, even though I like him, Ty Dillinger, and you had mid-card guys really just flounder around, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder. Well, you took out those guys and you put in some real good depth and deep and exciting characters and exciting personas. I'm excited to see Samoa Joe on SmackDown Live. That was the biggest shock for me. And for WWE Raw, Bobby Roode coming out in the main event shows that WWE wants Bobby Roode in a high-profile feud. Maybe not Universal Championship feud yet, but in a high-profile feud in 2018. They did great for both shows. I'm excited to see who makes an impact. I'm excited for Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I'm excited for all of the things that Raw and SmackDown can bring to us. And I'm also excited that WWE has finally said, let's push these guys, let's give a bunch of guys one opportunity at the same time and see who can sink and see who can swim. At Josh Eisenberg 4, continue Wrestling Inc.'s Chair Shot Reality Binge Watch all weekend long.